So let's just settle into our meditation posture. And sorry. Just check your position. You know, your legs, sits bones, shoulders are aligned with the hips. And just lengthen the spine, head slightly tipped forward, and the eyes down. And just settle into this position. Try and bring your mind to the same place your body is. And then just scan the body from the crown of the head. Just release all the tension that might be there. Forehead, eyes, nose, cheeks, mouth, jaw, back of the head, the ears, the temples, your neck, shoulders, drop them down, relax the throat, relax the belly, your limbs, the hands, feet, fingers and toes, and bring the mind to the breath and just notice the sensation of the air as you're inhaling and exhaling. Check for any sounds in your environment and just allow them to be there. Try not to investigate. Notice the thoughts as they're arising. And try not to judge or have opinions or get engaged. Just be like an objective observer. Bring the mind to the breath. And just, I think we're going to do this meditation tonight for all the people of our life, to all sentient beings, thinking particularly tonight of Jeff, in the ICU. And Coral, you can just imagine he's sitting next to you. Purifying, be helpful. This practice, there is no negativity that cannot be purified. This is good to remember that. We're often so hard on ourselves, you know. We're so used to identifying with this negative aspect of ourselves, which is such a minor part of who we really are. We just focus in on that. I don't know why. It's almost like some just form of self-punishment. I'm not sure. But it's good to try and remember that that's not all who we are, just a very small part, and it is something that we can do something about. It's not these negative things that we have in our mind, our delusions, they're not permanent. What is permanent is that pure, clear stuff that's at the core of our being. That's what's permanent. The rest of the stuff is impermanent and changeable. So we're working with the mind. So this process is a psychological one. So we create negativity with our mind so we can change it by creating positivity with our mind. So regret, sincerely regret from the depths of your heart anything you have done to harm any living being on this day, in this life, and in all past lives. And think of specific actions of both your body and your speech. And then in general, you can regret all. And the reason to regret is based on the logic of karma. We experience everything due to our past karma, our past actions. And so having harmed others, we ourselves will necessarily experience suffering in the future. So we don't really want that. So we know from our present suffering, we don't want that. So logically, it makes sense that we would remove these karmic seeds before they ripen as future suffering for us. So think, I regret from the depths of my heart, having harmed others with my body and my speech, having broken my vows, because I do not want the future suffering. I'm sick of suffering. And also regret any anger, attachment, our delusions, basically, that are the cause of why we harm others, and think I'm sick of this suffering. And then think, okay, so what can I do about it? Whom can I turn to? So we rely upon Buddha, Vajrasattva, who we see as a doctor, who has the methods that we can use to purify the medicine. So you can imagine Vajrasattva above the crown of your head. And imagine also that he is your guru, your teacher, manifesting in this form for your benefit. So if you have a teacher, you can do it like that. This is the mind of that person. So he's sitting cross-legged on a white lotus and a moon cushion. He has this beautiful, radiant face. His eyes are long, shaped like lotus petals, and peaceful and full of love and compassion for you and all those people of your life. He has a sweet red mouth. His hair is black and held up in a top knot. His arms are crossed at his heart, the left underneath the right. The left is holding a bell representing wisdom. The right is holding a vajra, which represents the indestructibility of compassion. And their being crossed represents the union of these two, which symbolizes enlightenment itself, the development of infinite wisdom and infinite compassion. To the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, I go for refuge until I'm enlightened. By this practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva, may I reach Buddhahood so as to benefit all sentient beings. So here's a little bit of section on compassion under this heading of reliance. So in order to develop compassion, we need to rely upon other beings. So the very beings we have harmed and those who have harmed us, by developing compassion for them. And then think particularly of someone you've harmed recently, and then someone who's harmed you. And make a strong aspiration to do this practice of purification for the sake of all these sentient beings, and think, I must purify for their sake. So now we come to the power of the remedy. And this is, we start with, it's like taking the medicine, this practice. So we start with the body. And Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful white nectar, like coming out of a hose, quite forcefully from his heart. And it arcs around and enters your crown and pours into your entire body, filling you completely. And it keeps pouring into you until it forces out of your lower orifices all the harm you have ever done to any living being with your body in the form of inky liquid. And this pours out of you and disappears into space, not one atom left, as we recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dita Mebhawa Sutokaya Mebhawa Supokaya Mebhawa Anarakta Mebhawa Sawasiti Mebhayata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sutam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tathagata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dita Mebhawa Sutokaya Mebhawa Supokaya Mebhawa Anarakta Mebhawa Sawasiti Mebhayata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tathagata Vajramame Matsa Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dita Mebhawa Sutokaya Mebhawa Supokaya Mebhawa Anarakta Mebhawa Sawasiti Mebhayata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tathagata Vajramame Matsa Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dita Mebhawa Sutokaya Mebhawa Supokaya Mebhawa Anarakta Mebhawa Sawasiti Mebhayata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tathagata Vajramame Matsa Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dita Mebhawa Sutokaya Mebhawa Supokaya Mebhawa Anarakta Mebhawa Sawasiti Mebhayata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tathagata Vajramame Matsa Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dita Mebhawa Sutokaya Mebhawa Supokaya Mebhawa Anarakta me bawa sawa siddhi mempi yata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramame mut vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida me bawa sutokaya me bawa supokaya me bawa Anarakta me bawa sawa siddhi mempi yata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan Sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva aham pe. So be delighted that all the harm you have ever done to any sentient being with your body is now completely purified, and think there's no way you could do anything but benefit others now with your body. And the next is a purification of your speech. And Vajrasattva now very happily sends powerful nectar from his heart chakra, and it arcs around and enters your crown and fills your entire body, except this time forcing up to the top of your body all the negativity of your speech, which overflows and disappears into space, not one atom left. And you can imagine all the gossip and the harsh speech and useless speech and careless speech and lying and talking badly about others behind their backs. All of this is purified by this powerful nectar filling you as you recite the mantra. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida mebawa stokaya mebawa supokaya mebawa anarakta mebawa sawa siddhi mempi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida mebawa sutokaya mebawa supokaya mebawa Anarakta me bawa sawa siddhi mempi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida me bawa sutokaya me bawa supokaya me bawa Anarakta me bawa sawa siddhi mempi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida me bawa sutokaya me bawa supokaya me bawa Anarakta me bawa sawa siddhi mempi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida me bawa sutokaya me bawa supokaya me bawa Anarakta me bawa sawa siddhi mempi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida me bawa sutokaya me bawa supokaya me bawa Anarakta me bawa sawa siddhi mempi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida me bawa sutokaya me bawa supokaya me bawa Anarakta me bawa sawa siddhi mempi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva aham pe. So again, feel so happy that your speech is now completely purified, and imagine it's not possible to do anything other than benefit others now with your speech. Just think, how amazing would that be? So the next is the purification of the mind. And Vajrasattva now very compassionately sends powerful beams of light from his heart chakra, and this arcs around and enters your crown and fills your entire being. So it's just the same as when you walk into a pitch black room and you switch on a light, that light instantly dispels the darkness in the room. So the same here, you just imagine the light from Vajrasattva's heart. When it touches your heart, all the darkness of the negativity of your mind, all the attachment and neediness and anger and bitterness and depression and grudges and jealousy, all of this is instantly dispelled, the darkness of the negativity of your mind. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Juda Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sabasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Satra Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Juda Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawa Siddhi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Satra Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawa Siddhi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Satra Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawa Siddhi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Satra Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawa Siddhi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Satra Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawa Siddhi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Satra Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawa Siddhi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Satra Ahum Pe. So just be delighted that all your delusions, all of ours, mine too, which are the source of all of our own suffering and the cause of why we harm others with our body and our speech, are totally purified, gone. And think now, there's no space in your heart for anything other than love and kindness and wisdom and bliss and compassion. And the next is the purification of the imprints of negativity of the body, speech, and mind. And imagine that Vajrasattva, very happily again sends a light and nectar this time from his heart, and it pours into you, filling you completely. And you can imagine that eradicates even the subtlest imprints of negative energy from your mind. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawa Siddhi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Satra Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawa Siddhi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Satra Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawa Siddhi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Satra Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawa Siddhi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Satra Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta bawa sawa siddhi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dinapatita dida me bawa sutokaya me bawa sipokaya me bawa Anarakta me bawa sawa siddhi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan Sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dinapatita dida me bawa sutokaya me bawa sipokaya me bawa Anarakta me bawa sawa siddhi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva aham pe. So now we come to the power of resolve. And this is the fourth step in the purification. So really remembering it's such a crucial one, this decision that we make to not harm, to refrain from harming. So again, we don't give ourselves too big of a job here, just something simple, humble, very short timeline, something that can take you from today to tomorrow. And then we just sort of start to increase. The bad habits will start to atrophy. So just think of something that will work for you, something you want to work on that's maybe harmful, perhaps your speech, perhaps some negative self-talk, some rumination about something that's going on in your life. Maybe just say, for example, I won't ruminate about X, Y, and Z, as you say here, for 5 minutes. So just like that, slowly, slowly, humbly, quietly, and then you'll start to see some change. So Vajrasattva is delighted with us and wanting to merge with your mind, melts into white light and absorbs into you through your crown. And think my guru's body, speech, and mind, Vajrasattva's body, speech, and mind, my own body, speech, and mind are the same thing. So now just a wee meditation on emptiness. You can, whatever level you understand it, place your mind there for a moment. You can think of all phenomena as being empty. They do not exist from their own side. And you can also think that perhaps the way things are appearing to me may not necessarily be the way they actually exist. So let's just dedicate all the merit, all the positive energy you've created doing this purification to all living beings, and particularly to Jeff. And may he have a peaceful passing, if that's what's happening today, and a precious human rebirth. May all the virtuous karma I've created from doing this practice ripen as my enlightenment for the sake of sentient beings as quickly as possible. For His Holiness the Dalai Lama, the wish-granting, wish-fulfilling jewel, source of every single benefit and happiness in this world, to the incomparably kind Tenzin Gyatso I beseech, may all your holy wishes be spontaneously fulfilled. For Lama Supreme Rinpoche. O Tub Shu Chang Shin Jam Gon Galloway Tenzin Kyong Pelaway Kunzo Dog Porze Chog Sum Kurwe Leg Mon to a drum Pa Dag Sog Dulje Gondu Jab Ten Shog. Lama Ursel, Venerable One, to whose kindness exceeds that of all the conquerors, for those wanderers in far-off places, especially the West, mindful of your loving concern for us in intentionally descending again into a family of a far distant land, we make this request, O Lama, please live long, and for Geshe Sherab, beloved teacher, leading your students toward wisdom and compassion, explaining through exacting discernment the steps of the graduated path. You are the unequal guide. Please live a long and stable life. Okay, everybody, thank you. And Patty, I didn't say hello to you. Nice to see you. Okay. And everybody, lots of love and have a wonderful weekend. Coral, I hope everything goes okay. Much love to you. And get better soon, Hin. You're looking a lot better. Nice to see you. Okay. All right, everyone. Good night. Have a nice weekend. And I will see you Monday. Okay. Bye-bye. Lots of love. Thanks for hosting.